Welcome to Torch Lake, located in the Traverse City region just east of Grand Traverse Bay. It is Michigan's second largest inland lake, and it's known for breathtaking natural beauty and crystal clear waters. It's also known for unparalleled perch fishing, especially in the fall. And that's where our sights are set, as John is joined by Captain Jim Chamberlain of Fish with Jim Outfitters. Together, they'll be taking it all in: natural beauty, the perfect conditions, and some incredible perch fishing on this edition of Fisherman's Digest. Our trip this morning begins with a gorgeous sunrise that adds a warm glow to the natural beauty that is Torch Lake. As we back out from the launch, we're met with conditions that are nothing short of perfect. And as we put the hammer down on the skeeter, anticipation starts to build. After all, fall is prime time for perch here, and it's hard to think of a better spot or a better way to spend a day on the water. The perch here travel in schools that are both big and easy to find, which makes Torch Lake a favorite spot for both seasoned pros and weekend enthusiasts. Of course, there are still plenty of tips and techniques to learn and some specific gear to use to truly get the most out of this fantastic fishery. We've got all that coming up, but right now we're just getting started, and in true Torch Lake fashion, it doesn't take long to get the ball rolling.
Beautiful. Hey, good morning, everybody. John Bergsma. It's going to get too stupid for me to do an intro once we get into these lines down. My Garmin right here will show you. We are into them thick on the top of a hump, surrounded by deep water. We're here up in the beautiful Traverse City region with my friend Captain Jim Chamberlain over here.
How's it going?
And he guides this whole region. Stay tuned for an awesome perch show. Fishing on it. Oh yeah, I can tell doubles. Hey,
Getting there.
top one is a keeper, bottom one is a get bigger. But that's what we're looking for right there. And boy, when you use these little small rods, is that fun? Because little perch counter box right here. That way we don't have to worry about whether something is you know, how many we have. That one will let grow fish on there.
Looks like he's spinning.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Getting better. Guy he's not real smart, is he? That one is 8.5.
8.5. We'll keep him.
That fish came flying into the graph when I lifted that up. Come from way outside the screen.
Huh. And that's the other thing with live scope, even when you're perch fishing, is you can be searching around the side of the boat. Now I'm using my Trax pole right here, which is a cool setup with my live scope. And I can see fish out, and like Jim said yesterday, they were actually flipping their perch rigs, casting their perch rigs to schools rather than relocate the boat. Here in these northern Michigan lakes, Jim, the water's so gin clear, sometimes getting on top of them isn't even good.
No.
Being able to flip to them is better. Better one.
There we go.
This will definitely go home to Aunt Betsy. I waited a hesitation from the first bite. Oh, and I know why. The bottom one's a keeper. The top one is a throwback. And that's nice little keeper and a nice little throwback. I hard hooked them through the skull, so my minnows, that is, so they couldn't get them off as easy. Got me a fish.
There we go.
There, that's a better bend in the rod.
Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, that's a real bend. Doubles of keepers.
No, it's just one.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
It's a better one there for sure. Nice one.
That's awesome. Was he off the bottom?
Yeah.
Got him. Let it lay on the bottom, and oh yeah, he swam right up. What I did with that one is I laid it on the bottom. Sometimes perch like to pick stuff up off the bottom. If you watch videos of perch feeding, they kind of like to be nose down to the bottom. And so if they're not biting when they're up, one of the oldest tricks in the book for the guys on Lake Erie is to literally let their sinker to the bottom and then put slack in their line and just leave it for 10, 15 seconds and then lift up till you get to the sinker. A lot of times they'll just be dead weight there. That means they wanted it on the bottom. That's a better one.
That's a better one. I can see him on here.
Yep. That's why I say I dropped in on that fish and he hit it immediately. Yep. It's just a single fish too. Oh yeah.
There you go.
So we marked that one literally on the Garmin. That's how lightly he was hooked. And I said, oh, look what under the boat. Brett, show him. That's what's swimming through under the boat right now. Lots of fish.
Got another one here.
You got one on too? Yeah, Jim's got one. And that's the way perch fishing is. Sometimes, Jim, you almost have to be patient once you get on a good spot.
Yes, you do. And sometimes you got to catch some of the little ones out of the way too, because they're so aggressive.
Yeah. And what I'm doing here, I'll show you how we're hooking these. I'm just hooking them right under the jaw, just with Jim's using these little yellow hooks. I think that's helpful too. Just a simple hand-tied perch rig here, and just going right under the jaw through the skull, because guys, they're not down there but a few seconds and they're getting bit. So it's not like these fish have to live. These minnows don't have to live. They just have to get to the bottom and get in that school. That's the cool thing when you're school fishing. There's that instinct. I mean, one fish even starts to pay attention to the minnow. 10 fish will go racing in on it, you know, thinking, oh, Jim's gonna eat it before John, you know, that type of thing. So, and I'm seeing some heavier marks in the right tight to the bottom now, just better graph marks, so thicker red. So I think we're maybe gonna catch a couple of good ones here. I dropped right into the middle of that school. There's a bunch of them under us. I mean, that didn't take 1 second. Single fish. Nice one.
There you go.
That's what we're looking for right there, boys and girls. And the screen is just lit up right. Oh, look at the screen. Brett, you gotta show them that screen. That screen is stupid. And that literally just happened. Like there was nothing going on. And that's why sometimes, Jim, just getting a spot in a good area and just patienting it out, you know?
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the live scope and pointing it to an area, and when I see the fish, I'll throw over to them. And sometimes the bigger ones, they won't sit under the boat that good. So you throw off the boat, and they seem to be more comfortable with the rigging. And I'll use some different stuff a lot of times with them too. I'll use blade baits, I'll cast jig and rapalas, some different variations of some spoons too sometimes. It just depends on the day. Right now I'm just messing around with the perch rig, just kind of throwing that around. It's a little hard to throw that blade bait out in this deep of water. I like that a little bit shallower.
And I'll tell you what that does is that gives you two different ways of fishing. So I'm staying right below the boat, whereas Jim's using the live scope to, as the school goes through, then Jim's tracking that school once it gets away from the boat. So we've always got a bait down, straight down, keeping the fish, you know, coming. And then Jim's able, there, he's got one right there.
Yeah, and that was off the boat a little ways.
Yep, and that school had just gone through, and Jim saw it on the live scope, casted to it, and we're gonna see what we got here, but he's been able to pick off some really nice fish.
There's a good one.
There's a great example.
There's a nice perch there.
You know, and that's basically, you know, the whole concept there of fishing two different ways. One's keeping the fish around. Oh, I just got smashed.
Well,
and you chasing that school to get one or two more out of it.
Right, and
That's a fact. That is a fact. There's another great big school that's swimming right under the boat right now. So I'm gonna drop into them, see if I can get lucky and get a big aggressive one out of the school. And then as that school passes by, Jim will be casting out to them, seeing if the presence of the boat is stopping some of those bigger ones from biting. Then Jim has got a chance to grab fish.
That looks like a better one there, too.
I'll come to you, Brett, otherwise. Yeah. I just said, looks like a nice school of fish just swam in. I dropped right into them. Beautiful, beautiful keeper. And again, it's just so critical.
Another one here.
Yeah, another one there. Jim will get him.
Both techniques are working pretty good.
Yep.
Not a keeper.
Not a keeper. That counter on this catch counter, super important, because we're sitting here fishing our brains out, but we have no idea if when we get back to the launch, there's a DNR officer wanting to just check our catch. Well, we know we got 13 legal size as far as we're concerned, 8+ inch fish in that bucket. And every time that little lid lets go, it clicks the counter. So we can confidently fish and we know, hey, we've got our limiter, we've got our target, you know, whether we wanted 25 or 50, whatever. But that's a super important tool to let you concentrate on fishing.
Had a lot better luck with the Garmin people.
Fish on.
Yep. Look at this one.
Oh,
look at that. Come on in here, buddy.
What do you know?
After about 5 little ones,
Yeah, that's about the count.
you get blessed with one of these guys for the bucket. But you know what? It keeps us out here a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because fishing's about camaraderie, right? It's not just about coming out and getting your limit and running back.
Fish on. Drift jigging. Oh yeah.
There you go.
There. So what I was doing is I hit my spot lock to drift back 10, 15 feet to give us some new look. And I left my bait down. Beautiful 10, 11 incher. Trolling for perch with my jig. Oh yeah. Keeper.
There you go.
Yeah. I was using, and I'll show you guys a little trick of how versatility in your rod holder system. So, well, Brett sits right there, he can scan. I'm gonna be out fishing for salmon tomorrow, so I have my riggers on. I'm using my front GT100 to just stabilize my rod so I can rebait easily. And then I'm using my other GT100 to drop down parallel with the water, and if I get sick of holding my rod, I just slide my rod into that rod holder, and I just caught that fish doing that. Sometimes, you know, old guys need a break. And I'll tell you what, when you have a Trax system on your boat, these rod holders that are specific to one thing, because they're a 14-point adjustment, can also serve as another complete use. So yeah, this one's down and I put my rod in it. This one's up and I put my rod in it when I'm baiting. And in the meantime, Jim's busy catching keepers.
Yeah.
Keeper.
Okay.
And you'll see when I put this rod right like this, I get to the bottom, I just peg that rod, and now I can have that thing sitting right on the bottom. I can just refine where I'm at, and just stand here and watch it. When the rod tip nods, I just grab it. Oh yeah, big fish. That was like, he swam up, I held it off the bottom. Hey, we took a break and moved to a different spot. I held that one off the bottom, and I mean, immediately better fish. Beautiful. We switched spots because the wind switched on us, and Jim had done really good on the back side of this bar yesterday, so we made a move, and I mean, it took a great big 10 seconds. Way to pre-fish, Jimbo.
Yep. And here's the answer to your question about this.
Oh, yeah. Do they bite the blade? Yes, yes they do.
Yeah, they enjoy the blade bait. That looks like a keeper there.
Oh yeah. There he is. That sensitive ice fishing rod tells you all you need to know. Just starts to nod just a little bit. Double. Right there, the top one is going to be a keeper. The bottom one we're going to let go. Now I need to rebait. So I set that rod right there. Now I've got right in my hand. I can rebait without any problem. Otherwise you're laying your rod on the ground and stumbling all over it. It's right here now. I let it back down, drop my rod in the rod holder. This is normally a Dipsy Diver rod holder, but I tell you what, it works perfect for what we're doing here today. He's back. He's back with a vengeance. He brought a friend with him. Yep, nice keeper.
There's a fish. That one might have some.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
That looks like a better one.
What?
Oh yeah, there we go. There's what we're looking for right there. That's a nice one. Yeah, so again, we've filtered through a bunch of little ones to get another nice one.
Oh, I think I got a good one too. We might have a double big one, Jimmel.
That looks good.
And that was another one where I just decided to,
Oh, look at that.
where I decided to cast.
Well, that's why he's the host of the show, right?
Right. Well, this all is about Fish with Jim Charters.
Yeah.
This is our third time fishing together, and I'm telling you what, Jim, every time we go, we beat the tar out of them. Oh yeah. I hear the braid going through the line guides. That's always a good sign.
It's always a noise that I really like to hear.
That's what you want right there. Great big Traverse City perch and the big minnow sticking out of his mouth. I started to upgrade my minnow size. Last two of mine have been on big minnows.
Yeah. That's what we've been looking for right there.
Oh my goodness. Was that straight down?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep. A nice perch there.
That's a beauty.
What?
So are you telling me I shouldn't let it in?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh. No, there's number
50.
Number 50. That's a beauty.
Nice perch.
And he gets to live.
Yeah, he does. Lucky him.
Lucky him.
Get out of here. I think we did pretty good.
Jim, we did fantastic.
It really is hard to beat fall fishing for perch in Torch Lake, but that's just one of many reasons and seasons to explore the Traverse City area. It is a truly diverse and year-round fishery. Highlights include the fall salmon run, river fishing for steelhead and ice fishing in the winter, bass, pike, walleye, and trout in the spring, and in the summer, king salmon on the big lake, and trout, bass, and panfish on the small ones. With over 150 inland lakes and hundreds of miles of Lake Michigan shoreline, including the Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore, you'll find limitless opportunities to explore the natural beauty of the great outdoors. You'll also find fantastic food and drink, unique shopping, and a year-round schedule of exciting festivals to enjoy. Find out more online at traversecity.com.